Hi, this is Marina from Dark Star Astrology, bringing you the full moon on March the 18th. It will take place at 27 degrees of Virgo Decan 3. It will be trine Pluto. The fixed star is Zavijava, a politician in England called Zavid Javid, but it's not him. Anyway, in the left wing of Virgo, the tarot card is the Ten of Pentacles, and the healing crystal I've chosen is Yellow Apatite. So this full moon is going to activate the nurse archetype, and it's going to make an amazing healer. However, this is still quite a difficult placement for the moon, and some commentators say that this is because the moon is very fragile in Virgo 3 and prone to illness. Now, any malady will be due to autoimmune problems, which are almost always due to not setting clear boundaries in relationships. So those touched by this moon need to look after themselves first. If not, they will burn out in their caring roles very quickly if they neglect themselves. The dark side of this position is the amount of resentment that may come out at this full moon when the charity and dutiful nurturing is not reciprocated. The patient may not have asked for the medicine at all, and in frustration could throw it all back in your face at the Virgo full moon. And at this time, we could even, albeit unconsciously, get loved ones hooked onto our support. The worst way we can do this, though, is using actual drugs, even sugary ones. Sugary foods and plying someone with wine count as well. So there are two extremes here then, the sacrificial martyr and the drug pusher. Those touched by the full moon must be careful not to fall down the rabbit hole of addiction themselves in trying to rescue an addict. On the positive side, supporting a good cause at this Virgo full moon can keep one on the straight and narrow. Nervous energy generated at this time needs channeling into something, even simple housework. A good time for a spring clean. Yes, get those witches' brooms out and do the old Virgo clean. So, now, the fixed star is, as I said, Zavijava, and it's the only star left now in tropical Virgo. So it's situated in her left wing, and Bullinger says that the name comes from the Arab al-Zawar, meaning gloriously beautiful. It gives beneficence, force of character, strength, combative movements, and destructiveness. That's really strange. I mean, this is the thing with these fixed stars. They have these kind of like, they always have two sides to them. So the polarity is there. And of course, at the moment, there are some combative movements going on, and destructiveness as well, unfortunately. So, but anyway, we'll go into what I think this all will boil down to in a minute, but I think there is hope for peace here as well. So Eric Morse gives Zavijava a typical Virgo flavour. He says it's a reliable, where did romance come into it? A reliable worker, attentive to every detail of the job, will make a good salesman, executive, manager, or subordinate commander, but needs someone of a higher rank to have given him or her the job. If less well aspected, he can be the sort of underling who provokes his men to strike or mutiny by overplaying the little Hitler act. Zavijava is the perfectionist. Now, I wrote this way before war broke out, and obviously everyone's saying who is the new Hitler now. My mother keeps telling me every day, he's so awful. So I'm kind of reminded of, what is it in 1984, where they have is it 10 minutes of hate or something? And he's the person now the Putin is the person that we now throw eggs at. He's taken over from Trump and taken over from, I guess he's taken the place of those dirty people who've chosen not to take the upgrade. Anyway, so yeah, he's the new Hitler, I guess. Anyway, so the chart. So these are the aspects. So we've got the moon trine Pluto, which I called love bites. Then we've got the moon opposite Neptune, which is the blurred girl. There's also Sun sextile Pluto, which is glossy bondage. And Sun conjunct Neptune, which is devoted idols. And also Ceres trine Mars, which I haven't actually written about, but I'm calling it the loving lioness. Protect the children. So let's go on to the tarot card, and that is the Ten of Pentacles. Now, this is a really fortunate card. It's probably the most commercially successful one, and this is reflected in the meaning of the card. It shows abundance, thriving, high achievement, and solid foundations. So that's why I thought this might give us some positivity for this full moon. Karmically, this card can suggest marrying into money due to having had helped that family in a past life. And the quote from Teach Me Tarot says, "Here we are looking at success, prosperity, and abundance on many levels. This card suggests you have done or will do very well for yourself, not by chance, but by working very hard to achieve it. Wealth and strong financial security are indicated and more than likely here to stay, as you have well prepared for this time and have done this essential groundwork." So that's the kind of influence that's going around, as well as all these other things. So when you look at the chart, it's nice, we've still got Venus conjunct Mars, really. We've also got a lot of trines going on as well. But, there's the opposition of the new moon, the full moon, sorry. And there is a square still hovering around with Uranus and Mars and Venus. So, that is the unexpected and things flaring out, shocking trauma kind of flaring up as well. But I think it's funny because Ceres kind of plugs into that as well. So, Ceres can be patriotism. It's the love of the land. It's organic stuff, organic farming, doing things the natural way as well. So, really whatever's going on, it's kind of nature playing up. I don't really want to comment on too much about, because I just think it's just another thing to go on about. I just think it's another divide and conquer, and I don't want to really get into it. I may look at the object of our hates chart, because I actually had it on YouTube, but I took down all my political stuff. But I may, if I get time, I don't know, I may actually do one of those, those reaction videos where it's like, I listen to my old whatever and play it while I listen to it, then pause it and make a comment or whatever. I don't know if that's an easy thing to do, but I may do that, because I know at the time when I did look at the Evil One's chart, that in a way I was thinking he was this kind of like base kind of answer to things, but now I'm just thinking maybe he's in on it. I don't know. Anyway, it's we are now we can see things from a more realistic state after everything that's gone on. I think I did this recording about before the whole COVID thing, so it's kind of everything has changed so much. And another thing I wanted to say as well, doing news type material, it seems like you do something about one thing that's in the news and it goes so quickly. And then there's another thing as well straight after. And I can't keep up with it. I honestly cannot keep up because things go out of date so quickly. And I just don't have the time to keep, updating new stuff because I've got other things to do. So anyway, so my way of keeping up with, I suppose, what the energies are going to be these moon things. Anyway, so I think before we'll do the crystal, I think I'm just going to kind of look at this all and tie it all together, because I think with the trine Pluto, let's have a look at that, because I called that one Love Bites. And that's because I found that it was a lot more sinister, even with the trine, than I expected. I thought, empowering and all that. But I just think whenever you put Moon and Pluto together, there's going to be the Hades effect. It's still a Hades moon. And I think every single Moon Pluto aspect, I don't think any of them are easy, even with the trine, even with the sextile. Because, the sensitive moon combined with the hellish transformation of outer planet Pluto, it's really difficult for individuals to carry on a personal level. Now, obviously, this is kind of in the sky, and it's working on a collective level with the moon. And if I was looking at this in a natal chart, then I would say, the best way to use this is going to be, channel the intense, penetrating, ruthless energy of Pluto into something creative. That's the best way to handle it, really. It's never going to be lighthearted or bubblegummy. So, it's useful for those. Also, there is this obsession with taboo sexual practices as well. There's powerful political statements. Well, we know that's going on anyway. There's a lot of politics going on, a lot of psychology going on, a lot of sorcery going on, and, needing to understand psychology to understand really what's going on. Now, when I looked at this aspect, I found some really weird, I found quite a disturbing amount of serial killers and sex criminals for this soft aspect. And there were the occultists as well. So here are some examples. We've got Crowley, and let's have a look. What did I have here? So Moon trine Pluto, Hugh Hefner, the Playboy guy, the owner of Playboy, and he claimed to have slept with most of his playmates, despite being married. Jimmy Carter, Harvey Milk, who was a gay activist, but in true secretive style, I guess, underworld style of Pluto, he did cover his sexuality really well when he was younger, and nobody suspected he was gay at all. Also, Lyle Menendez, along with his brother, murdered their Beverly Hills parents, then went on $1 million spending spree. God. Wealth there, I guess. That's Pluto's wealth. And I think the best example of this aspect, the trine, is Violet Szabo, British wartime spy whose bravery won her the George Cross. She kept her mouth shut despite being brutally tortured by the Gestapo, and she was executed just 23 years old. Wow. So yeah, other people with this: Hugh Grant, Little Richard, Sandra Bernhard. World War II. Actually, the start of World War II had this aspect. So let's just hope this isn't World War III. The sextile was the worst one, though. So even though the trine wasn't as bad, but the sextile had loads more. Yes, John Phillips, who was a bit of a pedo, Harold Shipman, yeah, Aleister Crowley, and Amy Winehouse, and Aileen Wuornos, who was she was a serial killer. Anyway, so, but we should, but the sextile and the trine are very similar. So we can get an idea. So that's the moon aspect, really. Now, totally opposite is the moon effect, really, because this is really sensitive, really compassionate. Now, I think this is probably all the help that's going out to the Ukraine, because it seems like, from what I've heard on the grapevine, I don't really keep in touch with the news, but I have a sort of group WhatsApp chat with my neighbours, and there's a huge Polish community around here, and apparently Poland are really, really helping out with the Ukrainians, because they've got a long history of having problems with Russia, but I'm no expert on all this, so but I think that's where the compassion is coming out. So that's good. But also remember, this is an opposition, so this is a harder aspect, and there is the probability of smoke screens to cover up corruptions, abusing the role of a spiritual leader as well. Neptune can rule deception, lies, and delusion, and it can be criminal as well. Then there's also the addictions that come about with it too, and the moon here can fall victim to negative Neptune because of its tendency to do things unconsciously. So the moon, the public, can be very easily hypnotized by Neptune's promise of salvation. The moon opposite Neptune is not out to deliberately deceive, though it can seem that way. And then the native can turn the 180 degrees quite rapidly, because they absorb opposing thoughts going on around them. So it's very difficult to get a handle on what we really are thinking at this time, or what's really going on at this time, because everything can just kind of switch to its opposite as well. And definition is difficult. Everything blurs into the next object as well. So there's a lot of projection because it's opposition as well. So here we have really with the Virgo Pisces axis is being really activated, isn't it? But I mean, when you look at the chart, there's this kite going on, the high flying kite. The nodes are involved as well. And there's a little cross going on. So it's kind of quite a balanced chart. But one thing that is missing is the adjustment aspects, the quincunx or the semisextile, because I use the Huber system here. And so sometimes that can be a bit all or nothing, because there's no adjustments. There's no sort of middle ground, because the quincunx and the semisextile are like quite mercurial as aspects. So they are the connectors. So sometimes there's a disconnect going on here. So it's brought up this. All right, I think I will talk about. I may rant slightly. Let myself rant a little bit, because I think this is the only outlet I've got for this. And to be honest, it doesn't really bother me now if I lose YouTube at all. I don't, because I've sort of not been on it for a while anyway. And so it doesn't bother me too much. I feel like I've got nothing to lose, to be honest. So now I've just noticed things. I've just noticed that I'm trying to be, all right, this is just a kind of intuitive read of the situation. I just think there is this, on the one hand, there's the demonization of the Putin. And then on the other hand, in some circles, he's kind of seen as this sort of base savior from the East who's going to bring back values, and he's made Russia Christian again. I have a feeling, and it's kind of It's just another
what's been going on
figure.
lately,
and how abruptly we've switched from one narrative to the next, that maybe he's in on it, and that's really worrying. That's even worse, because I think it's a little bit strange that, yeah, I was looking up this Forum of Young Global Leaders, and it was created by Klaus Schwab, who is the founder of the World Economic Forum. And I heard that Putin had been recognised as a young global leader, and as well as Justin Trudeau. And it's strange, because when you look at the members and alumni, you get there's no mention of him. But you've got, here we are. Let's look at some of them. Ivanka Trump is there. Tulsi Gabbard is there for the US. For Canada, we don't have Justin Trudeau there, which is strange. Then Europe, we've got Macron, not surprising. And also Merkel. Where's Merkel on the list? She's not there either, but apparently she is. So what are they doing, taking them off? Any others? No, not anyone I recognise as names. But then there's this quote saying, in a 2017 interview, Klaus Schwab stated that Russian President Vladimir Putin had been recognised as a young global leader, and also mentioned Canada Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. And he says, when I mention names like Ms. Merkel, even Vladimir Putin and so on, they all have been young global leaders of the World Economic Forum. But what we're really proud of now is the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, and President of Argentina, and so on. So, but then it says there's no record of him. So what is Schwab saying, Anyway, so there's a lot of, again, this is all the kind of Neptune, we're telling you, but we're not telling you. Sorry, I shouldn't be going on about this, really, because what has this got to do with the moon? But I know some people do like a bit of a rant, so I just felt might as well just talk about it now, because it is a bit like the elephant in the room, really, isn't it? So, all right. So, we talked about the tarot card, the prosperity. I mean, I don't know. I think obviously everyone is quite concerned about prosperity in the future, because it just seems like the cost of living is getting less and less, and this moon is not going to suddenly, just because it's associated with the Ten of Pentacles, it's not going to bring abundance, is it, to all and sundry. But I think it just means that the days of easy money are gone. Easy travel, that's gone as well. And we have to work damn hard now for anything. The days of the affluent West are also gone or going. So we need some optimism, don't we? So let's grab hold of this yellow apatite, because it's a positive crystal. It instills hope and optimism. Oh my God, don't we need it? It releases old blockages that may limit one's acceptance of prosperity or abundance, and overcomes fear of success. It heals negative patterns and provides the energy for creative thoughts and action needed to achieve one's goals. Apatite also provides the courage to take risks and the clarity to know which risks are worth taking. And as a note of caution for those with an overabundance of natural confidence, this stone may make one too assertive for the taste of others, especially in a work environment. However, this property can be advantageous in a competitive situation, from sports to corporate dealings. And that's a quote from Crystal Vaults. So if you're somebody who's quite meek, if you're more of a Virgo type, I think this that's why I chose this crystal. I just thought it was very useful, and it's kind of sunshine in a pocket as well, isn't it? Like that nice yellow energy. It's also Energy Muse say that this is a high vibrational crystal which eliminates any stagnant energy from your body. It's a wonderful stone for anyone who tends to stuff their feelings and emotions deep down inside, allowing for a gentle release and encouraging you to let go. Gold apatite facilitates the releasing of old baggage, thoughts, processes, and conditioning that may be holding you back from personal growth or moving forward on your path. So, yeah, I just thought we needed a little bit of sun and optimism as well, because it's been a very long winter in the UK, at least. I don't know in other places. And today's the first day we've had double digits. We use a different we've got centigrade here, but it's been, I think in American Fahrenheit it's still 40 degrees. It's been 40 for a long time, and then there's been storms and everything. So yeah, we're really needing spring, aren't we? It's just been a very long winter. It's been a lot. I think we're also just really tired of news. It's just been, what's the word? Yeah, it's PTSD. It's news fatigue. Like there's just been too much, and the way to get out of it really is just by trying to make life simple. That's the main thing, just to do simple things, and do simple kind of Virgo things like just cleaning the house, baking, starting to do the garden, spring cleaning, clear out the crap, and not being drawn into any more divide and conquer. Because I was saying to my daughter this the other day, I was saying, God, when was the last time there wasn't anything too divisive in the news? Because it's been pretty much all her life. I said, do you remember the days when there weren't like big issues that would split families or split partners even? You know, because before, you know, now it's the Russians and it's Putin. Before that, obviously, it was COVID. Then before that, it was whether the election was hacked or not. Then it was, just generally Trump from 2016. Before that was Brexit. That was the one before that in the UK at least. And then, before that was terrorism. Although, I mean, that wasn't so divisive, but it was the thing to be scared of. So when was the last time we had nothing to be scared of? I think it was about 2014. Yeah. And back in 2014, astrology, what was I writing about even? There was nothing to be too bothered about. That I do remember years ago, when Dark Star Astrology was like a joint thing, there was the swine flu, and that was it really, big deal. But there wasn't really, I wasn't interested in mundane astrology at all because there was nothing really going on. And it's only really in the last 5-6 years that I've been trying to just understand, what are the bigger cycles going on, because I read a book years ago, is it Tarnas, Richard Tarnas, I think his name is, and he wrote a really good book about, the outer planet cycles. And when I read that, there was that one, and then there was another one by Ewell. God, I can't remember the name of that book either. But they were both sort of describing the bigger picture. And I thought, God, they do make sense. And then when I started doing it for myself, because really when I was doing Dark Star with Jamie from Astrology King, he did all the mundane and I did all the relationship girly stuff, the moons and synastry. but then then when it was a solo project, then I started looking into that, and I did I've some of my most popular posts have been the bigger picture, like the Pluto conjunction with Jupiter and Uranus square Pluto, all those. And we've had some big transits going on since 2012 was the one. That's actually when it started with the whole, it's the big awakening. And it was when I started getting into people like Michael Tessarion and more into the sort of, has there been genetic manipulation, all these bigger questions, and then more sort of conspiracy stuff, really. But although that's been going on for, since David Icke, that's been 2000, Oh yeah, that was the other scare, wasn't it? The 2000 scare, the computers are all going to crash, blah, blah. Anyway, but it has been non-stop really since 2016. Well, yeah, since Trump, basically, and Brexit. So, yeah, this has been a world war since then, and it's not just now. This has been coming for a long time. So, I'm just a bit battle fatigued now, and I can't take it seriously. I mean, I know there are awful things going on, but there are everywhere. And I'm aware of another war that's going on, Somalia and Yemen. I mean, there's stuff going on there, but no one's talking about it. No one's talking about it. It's not fashionable. So that is the problem. If you're not, if you're not part of this 10 minutes of hate, then you're seen as like, well, don't you care about the children? And of course I do. Oh my God, this is the thing. I mean, this is my thing is Ceres, and the children. And one of the things that when we were talking about the child abuse that was going on, all that's all been forgotten about. And it's still going on. What is this distracting us from? It's like, what are we allowed to be angry about and what we're not allowed to be angry about? And it's like, BLM thing, but if you say all lives, oh my God, you're really racist, or there's always something. You'll get accused. If you're not fashionable with your hate, then you're condemned. So it just annoys me. It annoys me. Oh, yeah, there was apparently on the 28th, again, I don't really join in with the neighbours group chat, but I don't have it on notifications, but I sometimes check into it to see, the latest on the drug dealers in our road and things like that. But they were going on about switch off your lights as a protest against Putin. My lights are off. And this was on the 28th. I missed that. And I just think I'm not going to be told what to freaking protest against. The same thing with the clap on your doorstep, for the clap for the carers. All this is like, Simple Simon says, clap your hands. Simple Simon says, touch your head. It's all annoying. It's like, I don't want to be a part of it. And if that makes me callous and horrible, so be it. And then there's a certain amount of compassion fatigue as well, because there's so much going on our doorstep as well. And that since the whole lockdown thing, with the amount of addicts that have joined the already growing heroin problem, because of the hopelessness of all of it, really. So it's you cannot process all that amount of trauma if you're someone who's really sensitive. You just can't. And it's not that you're callous. It's setting boundaries. You've got to kind of shut them out. You can't be going around all the time worrying about every single person on planet Earth. It'll drive you insane. So that's what the Virgo moon is all about. It's like, you can only do what you can do. You can only do what's doable in your immediate environment. You know, look after your own, look after your kids, and look after yourself and your health as well. I mean, that's what Virgo is all about, is your own health. And my God, you know, we have a health crisis still going on. Let's not forget the autoimmune issues, the toxins in everything. I mean, again, it will drive you mad if you start worrying about everything. I mean, that's another Virgo trait, is worrying about everything, worrying about, too much. So I shall leave it at that. At the end of this video, I'll just have a quick little movie that I made for my Virgo merch. And you'll see at the bottom, there are the spreadshirt designs as well. I've got into real mandala love affair at the moment. So I've added them to my t-shirt designs. Also, another thing, I'm taking readings again, and the prices come down, but also the time is also less too, because I find that I can really sum up things a lot quicker these days. And it's better to do readings little and often rather than like have massive gaps, like doing a massive year ahead. It's because I think it's just the nature of time is changing. Like I can work faster, but then time changes faster as well. Like timelines can change in a flash. And so it's better just not to look too far ahead, because that's why I had to stop doing readings during 2020. I think I stopped for about a year actually. So I think it's makes more sense to me to make the reading shorter and to sort of do little and often, rather than just these very long, intense readings that can, anything can change now. Time is different. So readings have to change as well. So I've adapted to the new situation, and I feel better about that. I feel better about doing readings under those circumstances. And also, it just means I'm painting with bigger, broader brush strokes, cutting to the chase, seeing the wider patterns really, and not getting too caught in tiny little transits that don't really matter, because they're gone in a flash anyway. So I'll leave a link below for the readings and anything else that you're interested in from Dark Star Astrology. For now, I'm definitely going to be doing these moons every couple of weeks. I'm not sure how much time I can spend on other things, because now readings obviously take time too. So I'm kind of going back to how I used to work, was, do my readings. And when I do the moons, I will also talk about just generally what's going on in the matrix as well. And that seemed to work before, and I think it can work again. All right then, so take care, all the best, bye-bye.